if you think about this, if you really think about this, him being cool with being in the bullpen, that relieves D-May and Gonzo from having to be in the bullpen the way Dave Roberts used him in the postseason last year.
It does look,
right?
It does feel a lot like Price is sort of, throwing himself onto the sword here in a way where he realizes, hey, I'm the older guy. I don't want to block these dudes. These dudes are probably better, maybe better than me at this point in our careers. Give them that clear opportunity.
He's your dream veteran, I think. It is a dream veteran move.
He is.
What you're doing right now. Even last year, he contributed and called them and gave them tips and everything. I think David Price he's a really amazing person. I never really thought about that, because he was wearing other jerseys. But now you see it, you're like, man, these are the little things that you always ask for in a veteran. What's
the better move here for David Price in 2021? Should he be in the bullpen? Is it better for him to be in the rotation? Is it better for the team
5, 6, 7. That's where I want him at. 5, 6, 7.
You don't want him closing, so you don't have to see your boy Kenley? Or...
I mean, I think we have closing's gonna get figured out. I don't think he's a closer, but 5, 6, 7, he sets it up nicely. You got Gonzo and D-May. UDS has to be a starter. I know everybody wants him to close because of what happened in the World Series, but dude has worked too hard to become a starter. I just want him to be a starter so badly and let him choose whether or not he wants to be a closer or not, But, I just think let Dave Price own that 5, 6, 7 like a Josh Hader role. Oh, man. I would love that. That's just my dream. But I don't know if he has enough innings in him for the entire year to play that role.
Yeah, that's another thing that goes along with it. But in my mind, I think it's irresponsible of them to not take advantage of the fact that they have 7 starters. So for me, it's
8 with JoJo Gray.
Exactly. I mean, you look at the number of guys that they have, it just makes sense for them to kind of get rid of, almost in a sense, that traditional starting 5 rule and transform it into a kind of a hybrid where you're maybe 3-4 guys who are going to be built up pretty quickly and going to be able to start like traditional starters and kind of treat that last position or last 2 spots in the rotation as a flex role where you're going to piggyback starters on certain days and then go to bullpen days on other days. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think that there's no way Dave Roberts doesn't pivot in that direction, at least in the early part of the season, to make sure that guys get the proper ramp up. They get the proper build up to 100 pitches as a starter or whatever it might be. It just makes too much sense to not do that. And in that sense, you almost still do view him as a starter. It's just a starter that's coming in after another starter. And that's kind of it. So
the good thing is that no one's going to be guessing on their roles. No one's going to get a surprise phone call at midnight and say, hey, you're starting tomorrow. That's the benefit for having resources like this and then giving them that stability. Last year, I can see Dave Roberts going, man, what do I get from D-May? What do I get from Gonzo?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a Gonsolin. I mean, we've talked about that's how Gonsolin got not physically hurt, but during the game, that's how he got burned, is by not knowing what he was supposed to be preparing for.
It was unfair for him.
Because he's going into the playoffs, and it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, like, you're going to come out of the bullpen today. It's like, what the hell? And so rough. For him, like, I had a lot of friends turn on him during the postseason, and we are both very high on Tony Gonsolin, and I think you're very high on Tony Gonsolin too. But I think we all understood that, like, hey, he was not put in a position to succeed. He was put in a position to eat innings, to eat up starts, and he did it very, very well during the regular season. But when he was not prepared for it, you could tell, and he got hit and he got burned, especially in the postseason. So I think if you're giving him, not just him, but like as you're saying, the entire rotation, if you're giving them that consistency and knowing what to expect, I think you're going to get the best out of everybody. And Dustin May included in that, because he's a guy where I'm like, I don't know where you fit in long term.